to the beginner's course. So today we're going to be progressing on what we learned last week and then adding a little bit on. So again, if you have your blocks, then grab those. If you don't, we'll make do without, okay? All right, so as usual, we're just going to take a couple of minutes to bring ourselves here into the space and doing that with the breath. So closing the eyes and see how quickly you can arrive here, okay? So using that observation of the inhalation and the exhalation. To bring the attention here. Just paying attention to where you feel the breath. Perhaps it's the rise and fall of the chest. You might like to take the hands to the chest and the abdomen to feel that. Perhaps it's more at the nostrils that you can feel the air coming in. Maybe in the throat. Wherever it is, just bringing your awareness there. So just continuing to follow the inhalation and exhalation. Perhaps beginning to deepen and broaden the breath. We don't often breathe into the full capacity of our lung space. So see if you can start to expand. Often we breathe very shallow, just into the chest. Feel the difference when you fully expand into the lungs. Lovely, just returning to your natural breath. And notice, even whilst you are trying to pay attention to the breath, that thoughts are coming, distractions are coming. And this doesn't mean you're not good at meditating or awareness. It's what the mind does. What we're trying to do is start to develop the ability not to follow every single thought or to be able to watch the thoughts rolling by. Beautiful. Okay, we'll leave the meditation there for today. But what I encourage you to do is, instead of, okay, tick, I've done the little bit of breathwork meditation, then onto the yoga, we'll try and incorporate that level of awareness into the practice, and then eventually that level of awareness into life. Okay, so it's not a separate thing. It's practicing it as a separate thing in order to bring it into the rest of life. Okay. Okay, let's get into a bit of movement. So also just notice if you're feeling frustrated at all throughout the course. Things can arise whenever you start something new. It can feel frustrating at times, and because you just want to grasp it straight away. So just try to enjoy the learning process as well. All right, so let's warm up the body a little bit. Let's take our hands and knees warm up. Coming onto the hands and knees. Today we're going to take some spinal waves from the knees. So tucking the toes under, I want you to take the knees a little bit wider than hip width and rock the weight back. So we're almost in a child's pose, but we're keeping the gaze forward and the toes tucked. And then we're going to round through the spine like we did last time with our cat-cow position, but then start to roll forward, bringing the hips down, and lastly the chin and the head up, and then reverse the movement. Chin to chest, press through the shoulders, round through the upper back, mid back, lower back, and coming all the way back to the start. Let's go again. Head is tucked, rolling forward. I like to keep my toes tucked, but you might like to come onto the tops of the feet. Okay, so rather than worrying too much about what this looks like, I'd like you to really think about what it feels like in the body. So you might even like to close the eyes to help with that. And we're using our breath here. So, if possible, breathing in and out through the nostrils in a nice, slow and controlled way. In the coming weeks, we're going to go more specific into the breath. But for now, what we're doing is trying to bring awareness to the breath and keep that steady inhalation, exhalation, okay? All right. Coming back to child's pose. Let's take a wide-legged child's pose. So take the knees out to about mat width. Toes can come together. Hands can come long, and then take the forehead down to the floor. So we're really sinking down between the knees. And now we're going to take a little twist. So take the right hand over to the left side of the mat, and then take the left hand out off the mat and sink down. So think about pressing that right hip down as if someone was pressing it down for you, and reaching with the right hand. So we get beautiful stretch down the right side. Let's move back through center, over to the right. So right hand comes out, left hand comes over to the right, and then sink down. Again, thinking about planting that left hip towards the floor and lengthening through the left hand. And coming back through center and making your way back up to kneeling. All right, so I'll just wait for this big truck to go past. What we're going to do now is start to work a little bit more specifically into the chaturanga push-up. So last time we did the chaturanga push-up from the knees with the butt slightly in the air, and the chest and the chin came down, elbows straight up, okay, and we were doing it here. So that's a really, really good place to start and to start to build the strength. Even if you can already do push-ups, so if you can do push-ups, you might already have the strength to do this from your toes, but it's a bit different to a push-up. So instead of the hands coming out, the elbows coming out to the side, the elbows are coming back. So it's using more of the tricep than the bicep, and so it's a little bit of a different movement. So even if you already have the push-up down, then this might feel different. So we'll pay attention to the details here. So what we're going to work on today is, let's do some scapular push-ups. This is going to help us to feel the right setup that we want for the chaturanga push-up to avoid any shoulder injuries and just to make sure that we're doing it right and building strength properly. So from all fours position, I want you to collapse through the shoulders so the chest comes towards the floor, and the shoulder blades come closer towards each other. They might even touch, okay? Then from here, we press the ground away and round through the shoulder blades, okay? So we did do a bit of this last time, but we're going to work into it more specifically today. So again, dropping down, pressing up, dropping down, pressing up, and just notice the tendency for the lower back to also get involved. We're trying to keep that as still as possible. Whoop. And just isolate the movement into the shoulders. So it's here and press, and here and press away. So what we're doing here is practicing that to get the right movement for the chaturanga push-up. We want to maintain that protracted position, so that pressing away, rounding through the shoulder blades as we come down. So you will get the shoulder blades coming together a little bit, but what we want to avoid is that collapsing through the scapula. Okay, so let's try a few of those coming up and down with that protracted position. So press the ground away, rounding, then chest and chin towards the floor, elbows straight up. 1, let's take 3 more. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, nice work. So we're going to work on those and then progress eventually to doing them on the toes. What I'd like you to do, we won't do it in the class, but what you can practice is doing those elevated. So on a table, you know, if you're in the kitchen, just do a couple on the kitchen table, or the bed even, something where you're elevated, so the hands are elevated, so that then we're taking a little bit of load off, and you can then try it from the toes, okay, and practice that same setup. Place your hands on the table or the bed, whatever, then press away, then practice those push-ups, okay? We're also going to take one more activation drill here, where what we're going to do is rock back into that all fours position, and we're going to come forward straight into the chaturanga and back. Okay, so instead of lowering down, we're going to come in from here, keep the elbows bent, here and back. Okay, let's go again. Let's do 4 more. 2. Remember that rounding through the scaps. 3. 4. 1 more. I lost count. I can't count actually. You'll notice that. I think that was 5. Okay, so that's another nice little drill, strengthening drill to move in and out. And as we progress, you can also do that one from toes. All right. So if you already have a lot of upper body strength, you might be able to come into the more advanced position straight away. So I'll just show you what that looks like. So if you're doing the scap push-ups, you'll do them here from plank, okay, and practice those. And then if you'd like to advance this drill here, what we do is come forward, float the legs, float the knees, and come back. So give those a go and just gauge where your level is at the moment, and then you'll know how to progress, like where you want to get to. So if you tried from the toes and you're getting collapsing through the scaps and you fall through and you can't get back up, drop back to the knees, practice those elevated chaturangas, and we'll get there too on the toes. If you do what I did when I first started yoga and rush that and just want to do it so badly from the toes because other people are in the class are doing that and the ego is driving it and so competitive, then you'll end up often with injuries. And I ended up with quite a bad shoulder injury on my left that I still sometimes have issues with from time to time. It's not worth it, okay? it can feel like a competition, but it's only a competition with yourself. Yeah, if you're showing up, you're putting in the work, you will progress and you will get to those more advanced positions, but just start where you are, okay? And be honest with yourself about that as well. And I promise you, it will come. All right, so that's a little bit of work on the chaturanga, which we're going to incorporate into our flows. So today we are going to come back to our vinyasas that we did last time. So coming to the top of the mat. We're just going to take 2 of each today so we can then pop something else in, something else new today as well, and it won't get too long. So here we are at the top of the mat. Today we're going to work in from chair pose. So planting the feet into the floor, nice and strong, length through the spine. Let's inhale, bend through the knees and bring the arms up. Exhale, hands come to the floor. Blocks are over there, but you could bring them to the blocks. If you don't have blocks, fingertips, and if you need to bend a little bit through the knees, then you can do that. Let's take that halfway lift. Plant the hands, step the feet back, lower the knees. Rock a little bit of weight forward, little ant friend coming for me. Gripping with the fingertips, yeah. Active through the arms. So here, a little bit of a turn, as if the hands are trying to move away from each other. Chest and chin down. Press back up. We're going to rock back into our modified child's pose. And now we're going to rock forward, lowering down to the floor, tops of the feet coming onto the mat, hands under the shoulders, and lift up into our cobra. So watch that the elbows aren't out here. And rocking down. Tuck the toes, pressing back into our child's pose and then into our downward facing. So recapping the downward dog. Again, you can elevate the hands on something. If the heels come easily down to the floor, then take them down. Otherwise, you can take a little bend through the knees. Remembering if the back is rounding a lot, that this is a nice option. And like I said last time, we'll work on the hamstring flexibility over time. Gazing forward, let's prepare to walk the feet towards the hands. So starting to walk. Okay, as close as you can get before taking the hands up. Let's take our forward fold. Take that halfway lift. Okay, we're going to come back up through chair, bend through the knees, sweep the arms up, and exhale. Beautiful. Okay, let's go again with that one. Inhale. So, nice and deep in the squat if you can, without the upper body coming forward. Pressing the toes firmly into the floor. Exhale, hands come down into our forward fold, blocks or to the floor, fingertips. Take our halfway lift, lengthen through the legs and through the upper body. Plant the hands, step the feet back, knees come down, press the ground away, rock a little bit of weight forward, chest and chin, press back up, rocking back, keep the toes tucked, and sweeping all the way down to the floor. Untuck the feet, hands under the shoulders, and lift up. Space between the shoulders and the ears. Exhale down, tuck the toes, press back to child's pose,
lift the hips into our downward facing. You might like to walk the feet out a little bit here. Nice. Then preparing to come forward, walk the feet as far as you can, halfway lift, folding over the legs, bend the knees, sweep the arms up, exhale, back to stand. We're going to add on a little bit now, okay? So inhale the same start, exhale, fold, halfway lift, plant the hands, step the feet, lower the knees, weight forward, press the hands away, turn the hands away from each other so we're getting this type of movement, and lower down, gaze still stays forward, press back up, rock the weight back, child's pose, sweep it through to the floor, cobra, press the tops of the feet in, hands under the shoulders, lift slightly up, just up to the belly button, elbows in, lower down, tuck the toes, back to child's pose, lift the knees, downward facing. This time we're going to get ready to step the right foot forward. So left foot takes the weight, so we can take the right leg off, okay? And we're going to aim to step the right foot in between the hands. What we want to avoid is coming up onto the palms to get the hand there. So let's take the foot forward in 3 steps. 1, it comes here. 2, a little bit further. 3, okay, that might be as far as you could get it. Now we're going to hold onto the right leg and bring it forward. Okay, we're going to work on getting that smooth into 1 step. Left leg comes down, come onto the top of the foot and lift up. Okay, we want to maintain be active through the lower body. So what we're doing is pressing that left knee firmly into the floor, pressing that right big toe down firmly as well, and then the back leg as if it's trying to pull forward. So as if we're trying to pull that knee forward, and that gives us stability in the lower body. Okay, now the arms are going to come up. Take a breath here. Exhale, hands come down, frame the foot, tuck the toes and lift the back leg, and we're going to come out. So again, step back, 1, 2, 3, back to downward dog, and then we're going to step the left leg forward. Okay, weight comes into the right. Step 1, 2, 3, then you might have made it, awesome. You might need to help this foot through and drop the right, untuck the toes. Again, let's activate that right knee, pressing down and forward. Feel how that's different to just hanging out here with passive legs. Down and forward, front toe, big toe pressing down firmly into the floor. Now we're stable. Inhale, arms come up. Active through the arms as well. They're not just hanging out here for show, but shoulders relaxed. And breathe. Hands come down. We've got to come out. So take the knee up, left leg. Drag it if you need to. Step back, 1, 2, 3. Back to our downward facing dog. Now we're repeating our vinyasa. So we're going to rock forward, drop the knees, press the ground away, turn the hands away from each other, chest and chin down, press up nice and strong, rocking back, sweeping all the way down to the floor, tops of the feet into the mat, Activate through the legs, shoulders over the hands. All right, here in our cobra. Now, lowering down, tuck the toes, rocking back to our downward facing. Walk the feet forward as far as you can to the hands. Take halfway lift. Fold over the legs. And inhale up through our chair pose and back to stand. We have one more round like that. Let's smooth it out a little bit. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Hands to the floor. Step it back. Plant the knees down. Strong through the upper body. Hands coming away from each other. Chest and chin. Press back up strong. Back to child's pose. Sweep it through. Tops of the feet to the floor. Pressing away with the hands coming up. Cobra. Lower down. Press it back. Downward dog. Right foot steps through. If you need to, use the hand to get it there. Left knee comes down. Inhale, active through the legs. Remember those activations. Left knee pulls forward. Right toe presses down. Hands come down. Lift the back knee. 1, 2, 3. Left side. 1, 2, 3. Bring it through. Drop the knee. Activate the legs. Inhale. Arms come up. Shoulders relaxed. Hands come down. Untuck the toes, the knee, and back to down dog. For our vinyasa, forward to plank. Drop the knees. Press the hands away. Rotate the hands from each other. Press back up. Rock back. Sweep it down. Untuck the toes. Press the feet into the floor. Lift the upper body. Dropping down. Tuck the toes. Press it back. Downward facing. Beautiful. Find the breath again. Lovely. Remember our cues here in down dog. Again, hands turning away from each other. Space between the ears. If the back is rounding, bend through the knees or elevate the hands. Walk out the legs. Start to work into that hamstring. Walk the feet forward. Halfway lift. Fold it down. Back through chair. And standing all the way up. Nice work. Coming down to the floor to a comfortable seat. Good job. All right, we're going to take 2 more poses before we wind up for today. That was really awesome. So well done on incorporating all of those different aspects of that into today's flow. And it's difficult. So just be kind to yourself as well as we begin to add on and advance the poses. And just remember that you are a beginner to this and enjoy that time. Enjoy this time of learning and messing it up and not being sure. You will start to grasp it with time and consistency, and we're paying a lot of attention to detail, so that can feel quite overwhelming. It's like you're trying to move through the flow, or you're trying to follow all the cues and the breath, and it's a lot. It comes together over time, so don't worry, you will get it. So bringing the feet out in front and soles of the feet to the floor, and just take the hands behind to support you. Okay, so yep, we're not sunbaking, but that would be nice. We're going to start to, so the feet should be a little bit wider than hip width too, to give you enough space. Let's start to drop the knees to one side. Yep, so see if you can bring them all the way down to the floor, and that if you're going to the right like me first, then the left buttock will lift up,
And then when you go the other way, the right butt cheek is going to lift up. Okay, so we're just going side to side and seeing if we can get the knees all the way down to the mat, side to side. All right, and just noticing tendency to, when the legs come through the center, to round through the back to make it a little bit easier. That's sort of a compensatory move. So just keeping long through the spine. If you can, take a bit of weight forward, so you're not leaning back as far, and try from there. If that also feels pretty manageable, then we'll try without the hands. The hands off, and see if we can do it without. With this one as well, there'll be more temptation to round through the back. So just making sure, keeping nice and long through the spine. You'll notice you'll start traveling forward a bit. That always often happens in class, and students all start moving towards me. So that's right, you might just want to shuffle back. Nice, back through center. One final pose before we finish off. Soles of the feet together. Let the knees fall out to the side in butterfly. So if you can't get the feet this close, then don't worry, just take them a little bit further away for now. And again, sitting up nice and tall. If this is really uncomfortable and the back is rounding, sit up on something, a couple of blankets, or roll the mat up, a cushion, okay, just to give you a little bit more height there. Okay, take the hands to the outside of the knees. I'm going to press the knees into the hands. Yep. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Inhale. Exhale. Take the hands away. Take the hands to the inside of the knees. Press the knees into the hands for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Exhale. And take the hands away. Sit up nice and tall. Relax through the shoulders, the jaw, the mouth. Find that breath again. Lovely. Coming out of this pose just into a comfortable seat. So well done. We'll leave it there today. Next time we're going to add on again a little bit more, and we'll keep really paying attention to detail so that you can really learn how to work through these movements, and it will just become second nature. It really helps to avoid injury by learning these details and building up strength properly and slowly. Okay, thank you so much for joining me today. And yeah, I would recommend working through each video in the beginner series a couple of times and then progressing to the next one, just to really cement some of the things that we've been working on. So thanks again. I'll see you next time. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and thank you. Bye.